Alright, so this is a Plat game and of a Brig player. Okay, so oops, I kind of missed the team comp there, but I think we look at it again. Okay, so we have double sniper with Mercy Zen. So right now, and you even have a Roadhog. So right now you have a very passive pick-based comp. So a lot of it is kind of literally waiting around for your three heroes to get a pick of some kind. Well, you provide a damage boost with your Mercy to one of your snipers, and your Zen is there to hand out discords and give the potential of a one-shot body shot. So if you damage boost either Widow or Hanzo and they hit a discorded target, that instantly kills 200 HP heroes. It just instantly kills them, doesn't have to be a hit shot or anything. So that's very, very powerful, but this does mean that your backline is extremely weak to dives. So obviously there is no peel whatsoever for the Zen, for the Mercy, for the Widow, for the Hanzo. There's no peels. Roadhog does not peel very well at all. All you have is one hook, and if you don't have that, they're kind of not afraid to dive at all. And because your backline is Zen and Mercy, your total healing is actually not that much. So the front line therefore doesn't have a lot of sustain to really stay there for very long. And your Rhine can't go really, really aggressive because you have a Roadhog instead of a Xayah to bubble the Rhine and allow him to swing and take space and be aggressive. So your Rhine kind of has to be is forced rather to be really, really passive. So let's continue. You'll switch off the Zen anyway. I just like to touch on this current team comp and its goals. So Rhine and Roadhog combo on Dorado, at least on attack on first point, is kind of considered pretty weak, unless you're running goats. But who runs goats with Roadhog, am I right? So the reason it is weak is because all of these high ground are inaccessible to literally every single one of your team except your snipers and therefore your Mercy. But those guys kind of don't want to dive, they want to just be on high ground and stay far away. So you don't have high ground access, you can't take space for your snipers on the high ground for them to shoot. So if they have a dive comp, they can access your high ground, deny that from you, set up multiple crossfires from multiple angles. If they were set up on red, they can shoot you from here. If they are on yellow, they shoot you from here. And of course, even if they're just right in front, which is maybe a bit less likely against double sniper, they will likely be set on main as well. So they're shooting you from 3 different angles. Oops, I hit the mic there. I hope I didn't make too big of a noise. So your team comp basically is weak on this map, or rather on this part of the map. So the Tracer one clips you, and that's good Tracer play rather than bad Zen play, because you're playing close to your relatively close to your tanks. You could stand to play a little bit closer even, but this is not that bad. And him, you'll see in a second. Oh wow, that was actually, when he blinked, he kept his crosshair on you. That's actually really good Tracer crosshair placement and aim. So you switch to Brig. So as you can see, your backline kind of collapsed, and therefore your front line collapsed, which is exactly what I kind of thought would happen against the dive comp. And I watched this VOD in advance, so maybe I'm cheating with that. But there we go. So here comes our first mistake, and I'll talk about this. So you hear the hawk, and all this is fine, but let's take note of your health right now. In fact, I'll even draw on it. I'll put this box right here. Oops, that's covering the number. Let's not cover the number. Just pay attention to your health right now. Okay? Pay attention to it. He misses the pulse bomb. You miss the bash. Wow, he kills 2 people. That is unfortunate. But look at your health right now. It's 39 from about the 200. So the error here is that oops, I haven't paused at the right time. You bash and you shield. You are the direction of your shield is such that you are shielding yourself from the Winston, who currently cannot damage you. Partially the D.Va, who won't do that much damage to you. And in fact, you are partially shielding the D.Va, which is okay. But the Tracer is on the left, and you'll see in a second. So he shoots you for all that damage, and the Genji dashes you, which is kind of... You can't shoot that. But what I'm trying to get at is that the Tracer did 150 damage to you for... that would have been preventable just by turning your shield towards the Tracer. So the shield orientation is not good. You didn't identify the source of damage, and you knew the Tracer was there, I believe. So let's see. After he recalls, I believe you know where he is. I think you should have known that he was there. So right now, your identifying of the threat to your health pool is kind of weak. Because even though you know the Tracer is there who will do the most damage to you, you shield in a strange place. Especially because you're shielding the Winston, only partially shielding the D.Va. So, as we can see on your shield right now, all of this, or rather, actually, not like that, all of this shield space that I'm, I guess, shading right now, all of it is kind of not being used. So all this is, you're not facing the right way, basically. Just to put it. I've harped on it for a really, really long time. So let's continue. But this will be a recurring trend in the entire VOD. So let's look. So what damage you die. So as you can see, the Genji actually doesn't really hit you that much. Does he hit you at all? He only hits you with the dash. Alright. So suddenly your team comp is switching to something incredibly weird still. You still have a Roadhog for some reason. Now you have Dive. Alright. A better choice for this map. In this part of the map, rather. So, in my opinion, you should be playing closer to the other heroes in your team, so you can protect them with shield bash. You can hit people away from them with whip shot from a better angle, and of course you can just straight up hit people that come too near to your teammates. So you playing in this position far away from people, because I think you want an angle to heal people up there. But once you use it, you kind of should move nearer to someone or near the cut, near your front line, to deny value from the Tracer, because that's why you switch to Brig 4, right? You want to not necessarily kill him, but you want to stop him from doing anything. You want to make his life a pain to do literally anything. So right now, shield. And again, remember what I mentioned before? Let's take a look. Take note of your health right now. 203. And let's see, you shield. You don't shield at all. You don't time your shield to the Tracer. And you don't have shield bash, so you kind of can't bash him. So you took more than 150 damage just because you didn't shield again. And your shield is 450, right? It's really, really healthy. So definitely you can stand to use your shield more against... You can stand to use your shield more against things that will actually threaten your health pool. So you hit this D.Va. Keep going for it. Very nice. Alright. Not too bad. So right now Inspire is not triggered, and I don't know for how long it has been triggered, not been triggered, but right there you could have definitely weaved in a one melee hit on the Winston to trigger Inspire. So that's one thing that you should kind of take note of, is whether your healing, your Inspire is kind of triggered or not. And you should try to, if it's not triggered, you should aim to trigger it, especially if your team is already fighting, and the aura healing is really, really strong, and it really helps your team out. Let me just look again. Could you have actually shielded, or rather healed your Mercy? I don't think so. Not really possible. So right now it's like a 3v6 situation. And right now you use rally in a 3v6 situation. And if this was a Grandmaster game, this would be very, very bad, because right now you're providing armor only to 1, 2, 3 people instead of 6 people on your team. So right now the value of your rally is literally half, and of course you don't have the help of your other 3 teammates at all. So winning the fight with this is actually kind of unlikely, but in my opinion you guys should have been killed on the spot, but they kind of back out, so it actually manages to buy you some space just by using that rally. So it's not bad, but in my opinion it is bad usage of the ult, especially since you can give your Mercy a lot of armor and help her survive very, very easily, or rather survive a lot easier. It's just, you know, a little bit wasted in my opinion, even if it did pay off a little bit. So now to backtrack a little bit to about here, I would like to point out, rather than your shield usage and your positioning, now is a bit of about your repair pack. So right here, you haven't used it. Actually, let's go back to a bit to where you last used it. Okay, it's right about here. Alright, so 239 or 240 rather, let's count it as 240. So let's see how long it takes you to use it. And remember, the cooldown is 6 seconds. I'll keep the timeline up so you can see. Alright, so right about there was maybe 16 seconds for you to use it. So in that time span, you could have actually used your repair pack about 2 or 3 more times. Or 2 or 3 times. So in my opinion, that's a lot of value, or a lot of missed opportunities to just armor someone. Heal up, you know, get out charge, get your rally faster and whatnot. So in my opinion, you can stand to use your E in that situation a little bit more, but I don't think it's the most crucial thing for you. But you know, I'm just gonna point it out just to put everything on the table. Let me just erase that. Alright, where were we? Alright, we were here. Right, your Winston makes a bit of a brave jump. So right there you decide to use a combo, and your death actually he got you in the middle of the whip shot animation. So this is actually not, you know, not the worst. I wouldn't flame you too much, because you know, your team is winning. And in the meantime, actually I didn't notice, but your Mercy has changed to Moira, because it's really hard to survive against full dive. So Moira actually not so bad. Your tank combination is a little bit not good to say the least. So alright, so right now what you're doing is trying to use your shield to peek third person, right? Which is actually a great habit to be in, and you can really get information for yourself, for your team, without putting yourself in danger at all. But your team was kind of already peeking, so you doing this kind of doesn't do anything, even though it's a good habit to do. It's a good habit to have, or rather, but you know, it just doesn't do anything when your team is already peeking and already, you know, looking at the same thing you are looking. So however, keeping yourself not revealed, waiting for the tracer, is also not a bad plan. And that was actually a very, very good bash. You bash him and he makes a bad jump, you bash him, you punish him. So that's good. So right now you're shielding when there is nothing to shield from. There is no damage that could be coming. So right now you shielding just kind of slows you down. So holding up your shield actually slows you down by 30%, so 30%. So if you just didn't shield and you just walked up, I'm not sure if you would have managed to hit the Genji, but you'd definitely be in a better position to, you know, next to the cart and take that space and deny people. So you shielding here, not too bad. You're staying near the cart, that's alright. Okay, so nothing too bad. You're staying really close to your backline, which kind of doesn't need protection anymore, because now you don't really have a backline, because your DPS are Farah, who's in the sky, and you can't really protect with Bash or anything, and your other DPS is Tracer, who will be in their backline, hopefully, and you wouldn't be able to protect them, and your Moira has fade and is really hard to kill with her self heal, so she doesn't really need peeling either. So you can stand to be far more aggressive now with your front line. So you playing really passive there is a little bit of lost value. So that's how you identify your playstyle with Brig, is whether, you know, if you intend to peel, identify who you want to peel for and play near them. But otherwise, you know, you can be aggressive with your front line. So right now, what I noticed is that you kind of had a lot of trouble keeping up, keeping the target on your screen. So you kind of turned around really, really slowly, and I think from that pause that you kind of had to lift your mouse. So I think you have a really low sensitivity, and that's fine. I personally have a really low sensitivity too, and I'm a support player. I you know, although I play mostly, I play Ana, I play Lucio, I play all the supports. And having a low sensitivity, I don't think is bad at all. It's personal preference. But not keeping track of the target on your screen will hurt you, even with characters that are not aim intensive, such as Brig, because it's not aim intensive, you should hit most of, you know, your most of your shots, whether it's with Moira, whether it's with Brig. So, if you identify someone and you want to hit them, you know, next time consciously move your screen so that they're on it. You don't have to keep your crosshair on them, but of course that is ideal if you intend to play aim intensive character. So a bash there, I think you misjudged the range a bit. So right there, I believe that was a swing that you should have hit, but because of you didn't you didn't hit the Winston on that last swing. It's because you didn't keep him centered enough on your screen, and that's why I didn't hit him, I believe. So that was another swing that I think should have hit. I do believe this is actually in range, so you not hitting there. Actually, I have no idea why you didn't hit the second one. Let me just look at that again. Oops, it went back 5 seconds. This swing hit, it missed, because that one you definitely missed. Oh, and that one he jumped. Alright, the second swing was definitely not viable. But that one swing you missed because you didn't keep him centered. There we go. Good bash, very good. So right now you're losing a lot of value by doing essentially nothing. You're kind of waiting for the Tracer. You're tunneling on the Tracer a little bit too hard here, because remember, now you don't have a backline to protect. So even though denying Tracer value is kind of your job, your whole team kind of already naturally denies Tracer but some of her value. So you can concentrate on doing other things now, such as, you know, playing the point, hitting things on point, getting inspired, and strengthening your front line. Oh, actually, did you bash while you're in the shield? Is that why it did it stun him? Oh yeah, it didn't stun him. So right then, now shield bash doesn't go through barriers. Was this preventable? Let me just see it one more time. Sorry to replay it so much. Yeah, I think it's not. I think it's possible that you should have known not to bash in that scenario. So be careful of barriers from now on. Brig cannot bash through shields anymore. Interesting why you guys have Farah and Moira as the healers. So I don't know why you switched to Farah, but this vault's about you. So right now here you get anti, and you go for I think a couple more swings because you really want to kill this Winston. However, you kind of take 150 damage, I believe. So you're full health right now. Not 150 damage, but a lot of damage in general. Full health, you get anti, that does 60 damage, so you haven't taken any extra damage. However, you took about, yeah, actually it is about 150 damage while you were anti, because you went for 2 swings. So later on we'll see, you shield back, you back, you're still alive, and you're getting healed by your Moira, and now you die. So you actually almost survive. And imagine if you only, you only swing one time. You only swing one time, and then you back off. You would have had maybe, half 150, maybe you have 75 more HP, and you would have definitely lived there if you did one less swing, or if you didn't swing twice at all, you just swing 0 times. So you back off, and you actually might have survived that. I think it's very likely you would have survived that. So when you're anti, just be passive, back out, call to your team that you are backing out, you're anti, whatnot, and they will play passively for you. And they'll take care of you, hopefully. So right now, you kind of didn't even look at your Farah. I think right out the door you can just armor your Farah. But you... Oh, there you go, there you do it. I could have done it sooner, but it's not too bad. I think the awareness is a little bit... your awareness of things on your screen a bit weak. Very nice bash. That's very nicely done. Your Moira actually fades forward, which is very good. Well, the disruption is enough because it zones out your arguably only main source of healing at the moment, which was the Moira. So your Roadhog pushed forward and kind of died. And in my opinion, none of that was really your fault or you could have done in that particular scenario. Oh, all right. That's a good bash. That was a good bash. Good hits. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the fight is going too well in your favor. In my opinion, you playing in that position was okay. It was definitely not bad at all. In fact, that last bit, I think it was quite good. You got quite a lot done. You hit the Mercy till it was low. You bashed the Winston. The last bit was actually it's actually pretty good. Alright, so you're running double sniper again, against potentially dive. So this is the team comp that you guys kind of had at the beginning, barring switch some players, switch the Roadhog for a D.Va. So right now, your backline definitely has more peels now in the form of you as the Brig and your D.Va. It's gonna be definitely looking out for your snipers. I hope. At least that's the idea with your current team comp, I think. Even though I wouldn't run it. I wouldn't ask a contenders team to play this team club. So why are you playing here? This is not exactly a place where you can provide too much value. You're waiting for under. Oh, never mind. It paid off. It paid off. So you zone off the tracer. Very nice. Very nicely done, actually. That was great. So you can see that the tracer has done nothing in that point in time when you zone him off. Your Hanzo somehow dies to him, though. I think they executed some sort of dive. Let me double check, actually. How did your Hanzo die? I hope you're looking in that direction. Nope. Oh well, it's fine. You're landing some good hits. Okay, so right here, in my opinion, you can stand to play far more aggressively. You're thinking too much about the tracer. I think that's why you keep looking over there. But you can push up and actually just keep hitting the tanks, because your front line is pushed up. Where you can see this arrow right here. There's one. There's two. You can push up and keep hitting their tanks, triggering Inspire and getting value that way. Yeah, see, if you bashed this Winston earlier, your Mercy would have had a little bit more health. So you can see how your actions lead to other people having more health, having the more opportunities to do more stuff. And by that I mean just basically that meant having more space. So you drop, which is kind of a bait. Your Ryan's doing something very not recommended, but you choose to help him out, which is okay. Oops, he gets bashed. So in my opinion, you had bash up, and you could have definitely assisted by bashing the diva. So that was a missed opportunity right there to protect your Ryan from a threat with your bash. So you kind of rally into a fight that has already won, which is definitely not. It's definitely not the worst. You get a rally while you clean up. Actually, you know what? I'd say it's okay. I'd actually say it's quite okay. All right. That was very nice, actually. And that was actually very well done. All the things you did there, was zoning out the tracer, moving to hit the Winston, being aggressive on their Winston, helping out your teammates. That was actually really good. So actually, I guess I can go back and point out exactly what was so good. Not only did you, of course, actually hit the bash, zone out the Winston. You came here, you hit him, finish off, and you came to the rescue of your Hanzo. It was great. So far, a recurring issue for me is that you're playing really passively for a Brig. You can afford to do so much more. I think you're missing a lot of opportunities by playing this passively, playing for your backline, which may not necessarily need the help. Technically, you could have saved your Mercy with your E, but mechanically speaking, that was something pretty fast that you had to react to. Alright, good shield. So right there, I guess it's a kind of a shield orientation thing again, or rather, your muscle memory kind of did the whole combo without thinking about, or rather, your body did it by itself. But you definitely should have shielded that bomb, because look at how much damage it does. Oops, let me back a bit. So you had armor, 300 health, and you take 300 damage. So that's a lot. That's a lot of damage. So That was indeed a lot of damage that you didn't have to take, and you were full health. I don't know if you would have won the fight, but it would have been, you know, you would have saved yourself a lot of health, and you could have maybe gotten a lot more outcharge. So far you watched the kill cam, but I don't think I heard you communicate to your team that the Winston had ult. But you know, that's a complicated topic. I'd focus on your mechanics as a, you know, on Brig for now, and maybe when you in the future you can work on ult tracking with your teammates. Alright, so right here is one of those things that I was talking about, that you're not aggressive. Let me back up a little bit more. So you're here, and that's great. You bash him, and you back out of the bubble, which is fine. But right now you can afford to push up, because your Ryan's all the way here, your McCree's in front of you. You're basically not really helping. You're just kind of nearby. You could have been in front, or you should be in front of the McCree. Zone off this area that you know that the Tracer just came from, that the Tracer is right now, and help out your Ryan. You push up, but you know, you can stand there really aggressively, and since you have your shield, you can back off anytime you want. So you can take space right now. And your Ryan's being really passive too, so. And that was a good call. I think that's you saying that you need to push forward. That's great. So right now you are kind of shielding from nothing. So that was again what I mentioned before. You're shielding things that you don't when you don't, and you're not shielding things when you should. In this scenario, you know, you're not being focused, or you bash him. That's actually a very nice bash. But I think that was in that time you could have moved up and maybe even hit the D.Va. So. That was a very nice block. Actually, who's in front? Oh, your Ryan has been fighting alone all this time. Oh, and he charges. Alright, goodbye, Ryan. So, right there was another opportunity where you could have shielded the damage from the Tracer. So you can close the distance on the Tracer by shooting up as he's shooting, and when he's reloading, you drop your shield and you just walk normally. So you have your full movement speed. And when he's reloaded and he's going to shoot at you again, you shield up again, and you know, you block all his damage, you drop your shield, and you can continue walking. Alright, so in my opinion, you could have been really aggressive with this bomb as well, because it's zoning out your team, rather zoning out their team, and you can use it to push up, hold the cart, and hit people in this time. So right now you're being passive for, your team is being passive for no reason. Actually, your whole team literally went back to chase one flanker, I believe, one Tracer. So that's unfortunate. Oh, that was unfortunate too. So in my opinion, right here, you should have died on cart. Your whole team is dead, and the cart is currently being pushed. So if you die on cart, that means until you die, which will take some amount of time, not because you're Plat, but because you're playing Brig, and the time to kill a Brig is longer than most things. When you die on cart, the cart does not move, the payload does not move, and the rest of the team can potentially get some sort of regroup. So right now the car has been moving the entire time because you backed off. So I think you lose the thing, the game right here. Alright, so for me, your main mistakes is your shield and your aggression. So although the other things I mentioned are important, like, you know, your repair pack usage, your your shield bash, which is actually not too bad, to be honest. Your and your shield orientation. But your shield timing, you don't shield at your biggest threats. So the biggest threat to your health pool, make sure to shield that, and you can be more aggressive. You can really be more aggressive and get more stuff done by pushing up with your front line, especially if your backline does not really need peels. So you can start by working on being more aggressive and working on consciously shielding. I think these two is enough for me to mention for now. I hope you learn something. I will post a little thing about timestamps of what I mentioned. It's pretty detailed at first, and then it just kind of gets not so detailed at the end. Because if not, I'll be repeating a lot of stuff, and I did repeat a lot of stuff when I'm talking like this. So I hope you learned something.